Hello, everyone. My name is Jessica Cohan, and I am here to address two school concerns that are present within our school. I will like to invite your thoughts and ideas regarding these concerns as this presentation, professional development, will be a collaboration discussion. I will also ask for you to complete a 5-item survey at the end of this presentation so you can then take a look and reflect back on what we have discussed today, your understanding, and have any takeaways. Today's purpose of this professional development is to introduce two school-wide concerns that are evident within this district. These two concerns are easily identified in majority of the classrooms and highly affect student achievement. I'm here to not only shed a light on some of these concerns, but also have you all share your concerns on these topics, as well as get your thoughts and experience. Today, I invite you all to give your opinions, share your strategies of what work, what do not work, and produce a plan on how to solve these issues. I do ask throughout this presentation you also to take notes on anything that may work for your classroom or something that you would like to try or implement, or any other concerns that you think could go against or add to this presentation. In the end, I would like for you all to have found a strategy or a theory that is discussed and try and implement it into your classroom. You will have the time to work within groups within your colleagues to discuss these issues to see if you have these present within your classrooms and what strategies have worked for you, what have not, and even have the opportunity to come up with new ones. In addition, I would like for you to see that these conversations with your colleagues are beneficial and to realize that collaboration and teamwork will help come up with a solution whether or not you see it within your classroom or not. So let's discuss the first school-wide concern. One common concern in every class are students are not being able to read on grade level and how the expectations are just not being met. Students are being moved to each grade level not being able to read what is expected. Teachers are constantly having to backtrack, review, scaffold, and modify to accommodate these issues. This is also a concern and that is very evident within our INRS process. Our case manager can attest that majority of students who are brought up to INRS and then evaluated are due to reading concerns. So these teachers are coming to these meetings and saying these students are not able to read. They can't identify their letters. They don't know their sounds. They are not able to rhyme, which all comes together saying that they are unable to read. It starts from when they were younger and it moves up with them. I do want you to take a look at the quote that is showcased on my presentation. It reads, "Increasing neuroimaging evidence shows that reading disabilities result from the same impairments in phonological processing, regardless of low full-scale intellectual quotient." In other words, this tells educators that reading disabilities are just as severe and become a struggle as students who are diagnosed with actual reading disabilities like dyslexia. So the frustration these students have that do have dyslexia are just as apparent to students who are just behind and not able to meet those expectations. Another common concern with this issue is students are not being taught the skills needing to know to be able to read on grade level. So, for example, if you are using the Teachers College reading assessments in first grade, one of the books includes vowel teams for A level, and students in first grade have not yet learned vowel teams and are not able to move up to those grade level expectations, not because the student doesn't know how to read it, but it's also because they have not been taught it. So then the question then comes up as, how do we expect students to read at this grade level if they have not been taught the skill? It's not the student's fault. As a teacher who has taught both upper elementary and lower elementary, I can see the same struggles in both grade levels. For example, while teaching third grade, it is evident that third graders are lacking those foundational skills that they learned in kindergarten and in first grade, which then leads to their struggles in reading. Teaching first grade, I see students still lacking the basic foundations of knowing their letter sounds, being able to identify those letters, knowing word families, just knowing their sounds, being able to just know their letter sounds. No matter what grade level you are going to, students are going to have these hard times if they are struggling to read and moving up a reading level or just meeting expectations. Today, we are discussing these concerns as we do have the ability to change this problem as teacher leaders. Even with this concern, we could take a look at the teacher leadership domains. The domains that do align with this issue is Domain 4, which is facilitating improvements and instruction for continuous improvement, as well as Domain 5, which is promoting the use of assessments and data for school and district improvement. With Domain 4, this aligns with it as teacher leaders do need to facilitate improvement in their instruction to change this common issue of students reading below grade level. If our instruction does not improve or does not change, this issue is just going to carry on and continue. If no improvement is set to start, then nothing continuous can happen. This also aligns with Domain 5 as promoting the use of assessments and data could help indicate where to start to solve this issue. We do data collection throughout the school year. We do base mark assessments. We need to use those more in order to know where to start. The graph here above showcases fourth grade students from 1992 all the way to 2022. The data is showcasing the gap of students reading at grade level by fourth grade. The blue portion of the graph indicates the percentage of students that are reading at grade level or above grade level. Therefore, if you're looking at the year 2022, only 33% of students are reading at grade level, which is less than half. The dotted bar behind the blue average line indicates those who are not reading at grade level or who are below grade level expectations. As you can see, there is a huge gap between students reading on grade level compared to students who are below. This, in addition, showcases that this problem is not only within our school district, but it's nationwide and something needs to change. The second school concern is the increase in disruptive and defiant student behaviors. Disruptive and defiant can occur on all different levels. Many students are coming into the classroom and acting out in a way that is disruptive to not only themselves but others in the classroom as well. According to Zhang in 2023, he states that the student behaviors have an effect on student learning within the classroom. Teachers are constantly having to stop and address these students, which is affecting student achievement across the board. So, we see this all the time. A student is doing something during the middle of a lesson. You have to stop and then address that student. And many times it's not just a one and done situation, it is a constant stop, redirect, as these students are not paying attention to you as well because they are all focusing on what that one singular student is doing. Some of these disruptive behaviors are then turning into defiance as well, where students are going to the extremes of yelling back, destroying theirs or others' property, running away, or even more. This then, with the escalated behaviors, men and teachers are needing to call for help to the child study team, the guidance counselor, the school behaviorist, the principal, etc., to help de-escalate these behaviors. And again, this then just continues to lead on that student achievement's not going to rise because we have to stop and address these student behaviors. The main reason why teachers are needing to call for the assistance and having to stop their lesson is due to the lack of training in de escalation and knowing the antecedents and the worry of the student's safety within the classroom. It is seen within the school that some teachers are having to evacuate their classrooms at least once per week due to this student escalation. And again, that is a disruption within the classroom because the student needs to get de escalated and the rest of the class needs to leave the room because it is not safe for them, which then even disrupts the teacher because they cannot continue on as the student's focus is completely off track. Which then again all leads to student achievement information. Again, this is an issue that teacher leadership domains align to. This concern also aligns to Domain 1, which is fostering a collaborative culture to support educator development and student learning. This domain concerns with educator development to support student learning. So, teacher development, what can us teachers do that these child study team, guidance counselor, behaviorist, and principal can do in order to stop the impeding of student achievement within the classroom? You will now have the time to get within your groups to have the opportunity to speak with the teachers from each grade level about these two issues. There will be one teacher from each grade level within your group so you can get a perspective from each age group. Within these groups, please discuss the following about the talking points. However, I do first want you to take out that journal or that notebook that you have been writing your feelings on and anything that is taking you back and having you reflect. I want you to write your feelings about the points that are showcased. Write down your feelings on the issue. Do you experience it? How does your school handle it? What strategies have you seen work for you? What have you seen other teachers do? You will be given the allotted 5 minutes to do so, and then you will be broken up into your groups within the colleagues with you. Discuss the issues that are introduced when you are with your colleagues. Are these concerns that you also agree with? Do you see these issues in your classroom? If so, how do you handle it? I want you to share your strategies with your colleagues. Get some new tactics from the other teachers, share your experiences, come up with a new strategy together. Also discuss which issue do you find to be more apparent within your classroom and to be more pressing and pretty much be the priority to resolve. So please take the first 5 minutes, pause this video, and once that 5 minutes is up, you will then have about 7 minutes to meet with you in your groups. I also encourage you to share these journal entries that you are writing. So first, take it on yourself, write down your opinions, what your feelings are, and then write down some things that your colleagues are saying. And then share it through email, put it on a collaborating Google Doc, whatever you'd like, so then you can always continually go back to that collaboration. So again, please pause when you are ready and then continue to work with your groups. Okay, welcome back. So thank you for all taking the time to discuss these two issues within your small groups. Now that we've discussed the concerns at hand, now let's discuss the potential strategies to resolve these issues. With student reading levels, we have all agreed that we see the same issue in every grade level. You have more struggling and below grade level readers compared to achieving readers. The first thought that comes to mind is to take a look at our word work and reading curriculum and programs. Currently, we all know we use Foundations and Teachers College Readers and Writers Workshop. These two programs, we have seen time and time again, do not align. Foundations goes too slow and introduces important topics later than it should. Teachers College meets the needs of your higher students and your higher expectations. However, this becomes an issue for your struggling readers and then continues the gap for student reading levels when you're asking a student to analyze a text when they can't even read it first. Therefore, taking a look at the programs we use could be the first step to aligning expectations better and having a better foundation from kindergarten to avoid this issue. In addition to taking a look at the curriculum and programs, many of the teachers in the school district have gone through trainings with Orton Gillingham, IMSE, Letters, DIBELS 8, IMSE Phonological Awareness training, etc. In the meantime, teachers with those trainings, the reading specialist, and the curriculum instruction supervisor could meet to identify the gaps in the programs and create a crosswalk to help mend it. The crosswalk could be implemented within teacher instruction to help resolve the issue while the curriculum and programs are being looked at. Now let's discuss those potential strategies for our second school concern. Student behavior is apparent in all of our classrooms. Raise your hand if you can think of a time, at least one student in your class that showcased any of these kinds of behaviors. Now, raise your hand if you struggle with handling these behaviors since there is no one in your room who knows how to properly de escalate. Take a look around. See, there are many of you who do not know how to properly de escalate. You can try, but you never know what the student is going to react to. From there alone, we can see a discrepancy between the trained staff in the room. Those who put their hands down have a trained instructional aide to handle these de-escalation. These level 2 aides are trained over the summer to know how to handle students whose disruption and defiance gets to a level of needing de-escalation. Our school has a lack of instructional aides to begin with. Therefore, the need for level 2 aides is now a dire need. When teachers do not have level 2 aides in their classroom, this is when the phone calls go out to get someone to come and do the job properly. In order to alleviate this other issue, training teachers in the same training could help teachers better handle the situation to minimize the effectiveness of student achievement. If teachers are able to take care of it right then and there is no need to continue the disruption of the classroom. One final connection to solving this concern could be linking the curriculum and the programs we use. Student behaviors could be escalating due to the lack of understanding and achieving the curriculum. Students could be acting out to avoid having to try and attempt work they do not understand. So, for example, if a student is having a hard time reading and they just cannot read at all, they're going to act out to get themselves out of doing that reading assignment because no matter how hard they try, they will not be able to do it. With every attempt to solve a school concern or issue, will always be barriers that will impede the success. Solving the concern of student reading levels will never be fixed immediately. Time is and always will be an issue. Building student abilities will take years to fill in the gaps and get them where they need to be. Time with colleagues to meet in order to identify the gaps is hard to achieve as well. Teachers need to be able to meet during the day, which means substitutes are needed. With the lack of substitutes within the district, how will we have the time to be able to meet and create anything to help? If colleagues don't get the opportunity to meet, then no plan can be created. The lack of professional development could also be an issue, as only specific teachers were given the training in the previously mentioned programs like Orton Gillingham or Dibbles, or at phonological awareness training. These specific teachers are mainly the special education teachers. General education teachers typically do not have this training, therefore, once a crosswalk is created, they do expect these teachers to implement these strategies when they were never trained on how to do so. So if they're not trained, how do you expect them to do it? Many teachers are set in their ways also and find no need to change what they do. They see it as, you know what, I've been doing this program for at least 10 years, why would I change now? So therefore, getting your veteran teachers to make a change to their instruction could also be a challenge. Finally, with the need of fixing these content areas, having additional time in teachers' teaching schedules could also help the gap. So currently, we have only 40 minutes allotted for our word work time. Maybe an additional 40 minutes is needed. Or same thing with reading, we have 40 minutes for reading. Maybe an additional 40 minutes, or even one period a week could change this. The second school concern comes with many underlying barriers to success. Right off the bat, getting the funding for teachers to acquire this training takes time. Therefore, not all teachers can get trained at once and could potentially take years. With getting training and how it could take multiple years also leads to the issue of recertification. We all know once you are certified, it lasts for only a certain amount of time, then you have to do it all over again. Additionally, how do you choose which teachers take the training first? One may think that the teacher who does have the more behavior students to get trained first, yet behaviors can come into play at any moment. Another barrier is for teachers to stick to these strategies and making sure they're doing it properly. Getting trained one time and never meeting again could become an issue of knowing how to properly handle situations that have never come about. If teachers are not constantly meeting to discuss the different scenarios that are happening within their classroom, they will tend to go back to their old habits and undoing all the work they have worked toward. Finally, prior to any kind of behavior plan or de-escalation can occur, data on the student's behavior may be needed to take time. A lot of time the behaviorist will come in and say, oh, I need ABC data, which then could take at least a month and a half. This then just continues to push off the correction of the behavior, and which means the behavior could get worse, and then the continuation of student achievement will be impeded. Once again, you will now get into groups to have the opportunity to speak with your colleagues from each grade level about these two issues. There'll be one teacher from each grade level within your group, so again, you can get perspectives from each age group. Within these groups, please discuss the following talking points. Again, please take the first 5 minutes to journal your own thoughts before collaborating with your colleagues. Continue your document that you are writing in, or your notebook, or even email that you will share with everyone. Once the 5 minutes are up, you can then meet with your groups for the remaining 7 minutes. Just please remember to pause this video when you can. Discuss the introduced strategies for success if you feel these strategies could work. If you do, why? If not, why? In addition, discuss any other strategies you think could help resolve the issues. Have you already tried them? Come up with new strategies within your group. Finally, think about the barriers as well. Are there any other barriers that could come about in addition to the ones mentioned? In total, you will have 12 minutes to write down your own thoughts and then meet and break out with your group. Once the 12 minutes are up, you can unpause the video and then continue. Now that we have identified the school concerns and thought about strategies to solve the issues as well as potential barriers, it is now time to act. What action steps should be taken in hopes to solving the issues? For solving the current concern with student reading levels, the first step is to bring this concern to the attention of the principal and curriculum instruction supervisor. With the meeting of the administration, the idea of a crosswalk could be presented as a potential way to solve the problem currently while more is being done behind the scenes for a no program. So the teachers create that crosswalk and then implement it in their classroom while the curriculum instruction supervisor is finding a new program that better aligns together. The goal with this conversation is to get the approval for time to identify the gaps and begin creating that crosswalk. Again, is the school going to give the reading specialists, the general education teachers, the special education teachers, and anyone else involved time to be able to do this? The next action step would be to collect all the data and showcase the need for more instructional time in these word work and reading areas. While collecting this data, it can be showcased and presented to the superintendent or whomever makes your school's schedules and address the need for additional time in our reading schedule for these content areas. With the second school concern, similar to the first, a meeting with administration is needed to notify about the increasing behaviors. Nothing can be done alone just with teacher leaders. The teacher leaders have the opportunity to create and come up with the action plan or the presentation to the administration, but unfortunately, the administration is needed to move forward. The meeting would include the director of special services, the building principal, and the superintendent. The more teachers that make a claim about this concern, the more administration will be pressured to closely examine what is going on and to take action. The second step is to what is going on and to take action and get the teachers the de escalation training and getting the funding approved. However, unlike level 2A training, these trainings should be conducted once per month. During these once per month trainings, teachers can learn new tactics, discuss classroom scenarios, chat with colleagues on their experiences, and ask for advice from the trainer. Teachers should also be subjected to frequent check ins to discuss what they have tried from the training and how it worked or did not work. Having the action steps in place is a great start to solving these schools' issues. However, teacher leaders can only do so much on their own. Resources are needed from the school in order to implement and put these action plans into action. For the first school concern, the main resource needed from the district is time. Creating a crosswalk takes time, as well as time is needed with colleagues to create it. Without the time, no action will ever be put into action. For the second school concern, training is needed. That is the resource. The only way training can be approved and given out is through the district themselves. Teachers are not going to go out looking for it themselves. They don't know where to go. The district also could work with a company that provides the specific training that they like and the specific training these level 2 aides get. Therefore, they need to approve it for teachers as well. In addition to the training, while teacher cohorts are getting trained, a set of de escalation strategies could be helpful in the meantime. The child study team could come up with like a toolbox of strategies or ideas that they could try in the meantime. These strategies also could come from just someone who has taken the train already, so it doesn't have to be through the child study team, but anyone who has already gone through these trainings and it's been approved, they can share. These strategies could also create some just immediate alleviation for teachers, and it might be the thing that they just need in general. You will now get within your groups one last time to have the opportunity to speak with the teachers from each grade level about these two issues. There will be one teacher again from each grade level within your group so you can get perspectives from each age group. Within these groups, please discuss the points following. Again, first take the first 5 minutes to write in your journal in your thoughts prior to discussing. Once you get with your groups, please discuss the introduced action steps and resources mentioned. Do you feel that the action steps are a good start to solving the issues? Is there something else that you would add or change? If you would change something, why? If you would keep it the same, why? How about the resources? Do you feel that the proposed resources are what you need Do you think you will need additional resources? If so, what would that may be? Again, you will have the 12 minutes to meet prior. You will still take that 5 minutes to write within your journal and then meet with your group. Please press play once your time is up. All right, thank you for working with your groups. I do want to say, as of today, thank you to everyone who has worked with me today to discuss these schools' issues and concerns. Please ensure that you share your journal entries or your notes or whatever you did while you were within your groups through email, or even begin to create a collaboration document to continue to share these ideas and experiences as you leave this room today. This could be a continuation of collaboration throughout the school year. Before you leave, I do ask that you complete the 5-point exit survey to sum up your understanding and think about the takeaways from today's webinar. If you have any additional questions or want to discuss this further, please feel free to contact me at jessica.cohan2848@my.ace.edu. Thank you again and have a great day.